Yes. CR here with Eric Osborne from Bungie. How you doing, Eric?
Doing awesome. Super exciting to be here at E3.
You've had a great presentation showing off Destiny. I've just played multiplayer myself.
Awesome. What'd you think?
The game is looking deep. It's looking very action-packed.
Yeah.
For example, so much selection of gear. How many guns have you got in that game?
Oh man, too many to count. So what we're showing off right now in our alpha is just a limited slice. So you get up through investment through level 8. In the full game, you can go a lot higher into the level cap. And of course, once you get to level cap, it just goes really wide. So if anybody's playing at home in the alpha, which is kicking live noon today, going live at noon today, you can get in there and you can actually see a lot of the really more advanced weapons. So if you go to a faction vendor, if you go to Shaxx, who runs the Crucible, you'll see a whole bunch of other weapons that you can earn. Of course, you can earn weapons and armor in every single mode of play. So we want to make sure players look unique. They can go after the things they want, both in terms of play style and how they look.
So customization is the big emphasis that you've been showing off at E3. What other aspects have you got to customize? You've got your armor, your weapons. I've noticed a lot of things in there.
Yeah, so there's some things we're not getting into, some more advanced stuff, but you certainly have a huge host of armor, weapons, abilities, so you can pick different grenade types, different movement modes, different melee attacks, different supers, variations on your supers. You can pick a whole bunch of different status buffs, so you can see the each class plays a little bit differently, so you can sort of tweak and adjust the strengths to suit your play style. So if you want to be a Titan, but it'll be a little bit faster, you can make that adjustment for yourself and sacrifice some of your defense. So
you're not restricted by your class, are you?
Well, when you pick a class, you're definitely going into an archetype. Like a Titan is definitely a more up close and personal, close quarters kind of archetype. That's who you want to be, right? You want to maybe get in with a shotgun and get up and close and personal. But yeah, every class we have deals a lot of damage. They're all really good on the offense. So it's really about nuance, what kind of player you are. And some players we think will probably play all three.
Yeah. And I noticed you can customize your ship as well. Where does the ship come into it?
Yeah, so you can customize your ship. It's sort of your hallmark. People will see it while you're in orbit, heading down the planet. So if you're in a group of 6 heading into the Crucible, you'll always see each other's ships. You can also customize your player vehicle, which you can conjure at any time. And some of the multiplayer maps, the bigger ones that are suitable for vehicles, which we're showing off first light on the moon, you can conjure your own personal Sparrow there. And of course, when you're out exploring the world, if you want to get someplace fast, there's a lot of ground to cover. So you can pop your Ghost up, conjure your personal vehicle, and just head off into the sunset. And those are customizable both in terms of look and in their performance.
Okay. And I noticed when I was playing in the strike mode, there were other players not in my party wandering around the world at the same time. How does that work?
Yeah, so the beginning of that strike is actually set in a public bubble. So that's called Rocket Yard. So if you were off on a story campaign mission, or if you were off just exploring the world, you'll see people going into the strike. And the way we make that work is that when you head into the strike, that becomes then private for you. So you're sort of in the world, in its crossroads space. You can see other players. You can choose to fight with them in these sort of brief moments of punchy combat. But then when you choose to go into the strike proper, we'll craft those encounters just for you. We'll make sure the set pieces are really awesome. We'll give you a great boss battle that's just yours and the people that you've gone in there with. So we want to make sure that people have opportunities to have great social encounters. But when you just want to have a story chapter or you just want to fight a boss, we don't want you to have to deal with all the other people that you might not want to play with.
So you're not going to have randomers come in and take the loot from your boss kill, for example?
No, and even if we did, all the loot is private. So if we're playing together, the loot I'm getting is for me. You don't even see it. So we don't have to squabble over it. We don't have to fight over it. I don't have to worry about like, oh man, I got something that's really good for you. It's way too high level for me. It's all good for me, right?
So when I go into a mission, first I'm in the open zone. But before that, there's the hub level?
Yep. Well, there's a bunch of different ways we can get people into the game. So one of them is the director, and so that gives you the sort of span of activities you can do at any given time. So as you move through the world, you'll open and unlock different planets, and you can go down into the world. So what we're showing off in our alpha is Earth, the Cosmodrome. So even within that one encounter space, and even with that Earth, you can see that there's a strike there, there's story missions there, there are multiplayer maps there. And of course, you can go to the tower where you can socialize in third person, maybe check out your gear, maybe do a little slow walking through the tower, maybe get a dance party going on. Have some fun.
Show off your cool gear.
That's where you go show off your gear. You can see it. You can put your trophy weapon on your back. If you come out of the raid and you've got this big crazy, like, you know, you look like an enemy boss with big horns and you're glowing with fire. That's where you'd want to go to show off everybody. Like, look at my cool gear, right?
So progressing from planet to planet, is that story-based, or can you go wherever you want to go, whenever you want to go?
Yeah, we definitely unlock as you go. So Destiny's a lot about discovery. So as you move through it, you'll start to unlock them. And we also don't want to throw people into, like, for example, a raid like right away, right? We want you to be tuned up and ready to go. We want you to have a heavy weapon, a super, understand how to play, get some friends ready to go, strategize, gear up. So it's a good blend of letting people sort of choose what they want straight away, but we do have a new user experience to get people acclimated to the world.
And you mentioned the supers there. Can you give me a brief description of the superpowers that you get?
Yeah, so we're showing off 3 in the alpha, and they're class related. So the hunter has the Fist of Havoc, which is a big area of effect damage. You got to get in close to use it. You can miss it if you're too far away.
Yeah, that's the one I just had.
Yep, that one's pretty fun to do. You slam your fist to the ground, and everything in a small radius around you dies. For the hunter, it's a golden gun, which is more of a ranged effect. You get 3 shots in the initial, the standard version, and if you connect with those shots, it's an instant kill. You just eviscerate your enemy. You burn them away. And then the warlock has the Nova Bomb, which you leap into the air and show this huge missile of void damage, this big purple ball of light. And anything that hits in that, this huge concussion zone, and everything just burns away. So all those are tweakable as well. Past the alpha, you'll start to see things get unlocked. Or if you watch some of our trailers, you might see, the hunter using a arc blade, which is a little bit different. Or you might see a rush that the Titan has, where he can spear himself at the ground, or a Nova Bomb from the warlock that can launch 3 missiles at a time, and sort of spread shot. So there's a whole bunch of variation in that as well that we get into the game. So even if you pick one class, we want to make sure you can have a ton of variety and switch it up. And you can even, between matches, you may go into PvP and decide you want a certain type of grenades. In the next match, maybe you'll tweak it up. Maybe you had a bad game. Maybe you want to switch it up and try a different approach.
That's the thing. I feel like there's still so much we don't know, or we haven't seen of Destiny. It's such a big game with so much involved in it.
Yeah. The alpha, we wanted to start with a really good slice of the experience. People could really understand what we were doing, what it meant to create a character, what it meant to go out into the world and explore, what it meant to play with your friends sort of on the fly, or get into a cooperative mission, and get into some competitive stuff. What's the tower, and how does that fit in? So we wanted to show all that off, but it's just the beginning for us. It's going to help us build to a really great beta. So our beta is going to kick off on July 17th. That'll be available on 4 platforms, so it'll be PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, Xbox One, and Xbox 360. And then, of course, that pushes us to our launch on September 9th. So this is all getting us geared up, testing these systems, seeing what players do, making sure all of our back-end servers and infrastructures are working, and skill-based matchmaking's there, and everything that we want to build, we're testing it. We want to stress it out and make sure it's going to work.
Why no PC, though?
I mean, for us, it was really about resources. So we want to make sure that when we look at multi-platform development, we can deliver all the pillars of Destiny on those core platforms. So 4 for us was quite a bit. We don't want to shortchange any platform. So when we look at PC, we want to make sure if we ever go there, it's got to be a great, it's got to be a great build of the game. So you can't just take a console version of the game and pop it over. There's a lot of work that has to be done to get it up to snuff for PC players.
It's not ruled out forever.
It's definitely not ruled out forever. Yeah, we'd love to be on PC, but right now it's concentrating on these 4 platforms. It's a huge, ambitious game. We want to make sure we do right by anybody who gives us $60, plays our game. It's a huge endeavor. We want to make sure we nail that for day one.
That's a fair point. Thank you very much for your time today.
Yeah, thank you very much.
One more question we like to ask everyone we interview is, tomato ketchup, fridge or cupboard?
Tomato ketchup, fridge or cupboard? Fridge.
Right answer. Thank you very much. Cheers, mate.
Thanks.